If there's one thing that Disney loves doing, it's inserting an adorable, easily merchandisable animal sidekick into all of its animated films. Today, I'm gonna look at all of them, the good, the bad, and the gurgy, and rank them in a tier list based on how much or how little they add to their respective films. Now, before we get started, there are a few rules for this list. First, this video will be limited to Disney and Pixar's theatrically released films, meaning that characters from direct-to-DVD sequels and/or TV shows do not count. Secondly, for the most part, I will not be including films where every character is an animal, since that would start to overcomplicate things. And lastly, for the purposes of this list, I am defining a Disney sidekick as 1. A character who is a different creature than the protagonist, 2. A character whose role is closer to that of a pet, and 3. A character who exists to look cute and/or help the protagonist get from point A to point B. Alright, hopefully you got all of that. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, kicking off this list, we have a classic Disney animal sidekick, Jiminy Cricket. I think he's pretty good. He's one of the very first animal sidekicks that Disney introduced. So, I don't know, for being one of the very first, I think he deserves to be in good tier. He's pretty good. Alright, next up we have Jack and Gus from Cinderella. And I'm just going to rank both of these at the same time because they're both pretty much the same for me. I don't know, these two are also, they fall into the good category. They're just kind of iconic. They're from that original Cinderella film, and they're some of the most memorable characters from that film. They help Cinderella get out of her room when she gets locked in there by the evil stepmother. They're pretty helpful. Some people might think that the mice are kind of annoying, but you know what? A lot of the characters in this tier list are kind of annoying. So by comparison, they're pretty good. Yeah, I think they're also in the good tier. All right, next up we have the owl from The Sword and the Stone, and clearly I can't even remember his name. He's not bad, but I think we have our first I'm sorry who, which is a good little pun. Get it? I'm sorry who, because he's an owl. I don't really think of him when I think about Disney sidekicks, you know? One character I do think of, though, is Flounder. This is kind of one of the very first characters I thought of when I decided that I wanted to make this video. And Flounder is interesting because he's a pretty iconic sidekick, but he also just doesn't really add that much to The Little Mermaid. He almost gets he and Ariel eaten by a shark, so I don't know. He's not super helpful. I'm going to put him in the okay tier. All right, next up we have Abu from Aladdin, and this character goes straight to the menace to society tier, mainly because Abu actively harms Aladdin. He almost gets Aladdin stuck in a cave for the rest of his life. He just can't help himself. He has to grab the gemstone, even though they were explicitly told not to take anything, and that just makes him a menace, you know? And don't get me wrong, I love him, but like, that's menace behavior right there. So he's going right in the menace tier. All right, next up we have Doug from Up, and this is a good boy. He's a good dog. He gets to be in good tier. I think that's fair. All right, next up we have Morph, I think, from Treasure Planet, and this guy turns into a mop at one point and mops the deck of a ship. It's kind of gross, honestly. Yeah, just for that, it's kind of nasty. I'm gonna put it into pretty bad tier. And he also just kind of looks like a chewed up piece of gum. I don't love the design. So yeah, I'm sorry, Morph, but you're going in pretty bad. All right, next up we have Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, and come on, he instantly goes to God tier. This character is incredibly iconic. He's one of Disney's most recognizable characters. He's one of the very few sidekick characters that gets to actually be in the title of his movie. So I don't know, he goes to God tier because he's sweet, he's cute. All right, next up we have Zero from The Nightmare Before Christmas. This is the ghost dog of Jack Skellington. Yeah, I don't have too much to say about this guy. He's kind of just around. I like his design. I like that he's just a little sheet. I think that's kind of funny. Yeah, he's another good boy. He's a good little dog. And, you know, props to him for still hanging out with his owner even after he's passed on, you know? So that's loyalty right there. All right. Hear me out on this one, okay? I know that this is ranking the animal sidekicks, but hear me out. Ratatouille follows Remy the rat, okay? So in this instance, we're following a rat. So from his perspective, Chef Gusteau is technically not the same species as Remy. He's kind of in a sidekick type role. I don't know, maybe I should have just cut this one from the video, but I just thought it was too funny. So, I had to include him, okay? Like, when you have the opportunity to include Chef Gusteau in one of your videos, you do it, okay? Because what other character is this many levels of meta? It's like he is the imaginary friend of a rat that controls a human. He's the human controlling a rat controlling a human. You know, like that is poetry if I have ever seen it, okay?
Someone cooked here.
He goes in fantastic tier. I will not explain myself any further. All right, next up we have Raja, I think is the name of this tiger from Aladdin. Honestly, when you put a tiger in a movie, like, it immediately makes the audience expect something exciting is going to happen with that tiger, right? Unfortunately, this tiger just kind of sits around and does nothing the entire movie. Raja's okay. I don't mind the tiger being in this movie, but I don't feel like it adds very much. Okay, but we do have another animal sidekick from Aladdin. This movie has a lot of random sidekicks, but yeah, we have Iago, which is one of the only sidekicks who actually is the villain's sidekick. And honestly, Iago is one of the best parts of Aladdin. He gets to go in the fantastic tier. He's just really funny. I love his voice acting. I love how ticked off he is at all times. He's just an icon. All right, next up we have Gurgi. And what can I say about Gurgi that hasn't already been said before? No, seriously, what can I say about Gurgi? I don't know anything about this guy. Yeah, he's fine. He kind of sounds like Gollum from Lord of the Rings a little bit. You know, he's kind of a menace. I think he's earned himself a spot in Menace to Society tier. Okay, we're just gonna put him there for now. Next up, we have this pig. Also from the Black Cauldron. Honestly, I'm sorry to any of you who are fans of the Black Cauldron. Some of these characters are weird, man. And this one's just a pig. Like, there is nothing interesting about this one at all. This one goes into I'm sorry who tier. I can't justify putting it anywhere else. I don't even remember anything about it. I think there's one scene, I guess, where like a dragon picks up this pig, and that scene's not even cool because of the pig. It's because the dragon's cool. The pig just runs away. Like, it does nothing. The pig does nothing. All right, next up we have the raccoon from Pocahontas, and I've debated putting this one in Menace to Society, but I think this one's just kind of useless. The raccoon, he's kind of mischievous. He's always getting into some trouble with the little bird. I'm also gonna put the little hummingbird, his little friend, with him. I don't feel like they add that much to the movie. I feel like their shenanigans are just kind of dumb. I don't know. And they're just not fun enough to put into Menace to Society tier. So I'm gonna leave them in useless. All right, next up we have Bullseye. This is the horse from Toy Story, and I like Bullseye. He is fun. I don't know if I would put him higher than good. I think he's good. Like, there's really nothing much else to him. He helps, you know, Woody and Buzz and the gang escape after, you know, trying to get off of the airplane at the end of Toy Story 2. So that's cool. He's helpful, but I don't know. There's not much else to Bullseye. He's a nice little horse. He does a good job, and that, you know, that's all he needs to do. He's great. All right, next up we have Kirby. Yes, this guy's name is Kirby. Fun fact about me, one of my favorite movies as a child was Chicken Little. So, I hope that that doesn't destroy my credibility as a film critic, but if it does, I totally understand. I always liked this guy. I thought he was really cute, and I liked how his eyes like rotate like as if they're like a wheel. It's very weird, but I enjoy it. I'm gonna put him in okay tier because honestly, Chicken Little, when looking back on it, it's a really bad movie. There's not a lot of things in it that are redeemable, but I do think this little alien guy is one of the best parts of the movie, and even he's just okay. So I don't know, we're just gonna put him in okay tier and call that good. All right, next up, this is another one that kind of stretches the definition of animal sidekick. We have Olaf from Frozen. I wanted to include him here though because he is one of the major sidekicks that people think of. I really like Olaf. I know a lot of people find him annoying, but I think he's genuinely really funny, and I really like Josh Gad, and I think he's a great singer and a great performer. He's just really good at playing this character specifically. So I don't know, I'm gonna put Olaf in the fantastic tier. I'm gonna put him above Gusteau. I think he's pretty dang good. All right, next up we have Pegasus. This is the horse from Hercules. He's fine. Yeah, he's okay. He's okay. Next up we have Ray, the little firefly from Princess and the Frog. I think he's okay. I think he might be slightly overrated. I like him. I don't love him, but I like him, and I think he probably deserves to be above. Yeah, I'll put him right below Flounder. I think he deserves to be above the tiger. He's okay. He's okay. Okay, the real highlight sidekick character in The Princess and the Frog is Lewis, though. He has one of the greatest scenes from that movie. So yeah, Lewis gets to be in fantastic tier. He's really funny. He's a great addition. I love that he just, is just swimming through the bayou holding a freaking trumpet. It's amazing. It is amazing. I don't know, fantastic character. Next up we have the cricket from Mulan, and this one's going straight to Menace to Society. This cricket, every time I watched this as a child, I was just so mad at the cricket because he just makes a fool out of Mulan. He just can't help himself. He just wants to see the world burn. Speaking of people who are agents of chaos, we have Mushu. Mushu in the first Mulan, he's not as chaotic as he is in the Mulan direct-to-DVD sequel, but he's still got some chaotic energy. I think it's fair to put him in Menace to Society tier. Especially if you do count what he does in the second Mulan, he's just he is so mean-spirited and evil in that movie. Like he's straight up evil in that movie. All right, next up we have Hey Hey the chicken from Moana. This one's going in useless. I know that that's kind of the point of this character, but it doesn't make it any less true. This chicken is useless. It does absolutely nothing besides be kind of mid-tier comic relief. I don't know. I feel like Maui is a better comic relief character in that movie, and the chicken's just kind of there. Similarly, we have the pig from Moana and Moana 2. This pig is in Moana 2 more than it was in Moana 1, but it's also kind of just there. Yeah, I'm just gonna put the pig at okay. It's fine. It's fine. All right, next up we have Kevin from Up, and I really like the fact that this bird really likes chocolate. That's a very endearing fact about this bird. Kevin sneaks her way into good tier. All right, next up we have Dante the dog from Coco. I really don't have much to say about Dante the dog. He's a dog. He's okay. I don't know. He's a little silly looking. But I don't know. He's a fine dog. He's a fine little character. He's okay. There's nothing about him that's particularly awful. Okay, next up we have Sven from Frozen. I like Sven. I think he goes into fantastic tier. He's a good little character. He's a great addition to the Frozen movies. They make him very expressive. I like his little relationship with Kristoff. It's nice. It's nice. All right, next up we have this roly-poly looking monster thingy from Raya and the Last Dragon. And I'm putting this one right into I'm sorry who. I did not remember that this movie existed until making until making this video. I don't know. The design of the fact that like it can roll around with her riding it is kind of cool, but like I don't know. I just don't I don't remember much, frankly, about the movie, so I don't know if that's a great sign. All right, next up we have the little human boy from The Good Dinosaur, and I thought this one was funny just because it's kind of a reversal of the animal sidekick with the human character, and this time it's a human sidekick with an animal main character. He's fine. He's okay. He's okay. All right, we have Splat from Strange World, everyone's favorite Disney movie. And I would put this one in I'm sorry who, but I think this one's just kind of bad. I don't know. I don't love the design. It's just kind of one of those little sassy creatures that doesn't really talk. And I feel like we've seen it before, and I there's a reason that a lot of people didn't go see Strange World. Well, for one, it's because Disney did not promote it well, but second of all, it just doesn't look very exciting, and this character also doesn't have a very exciting design or concept or execution or really anything, you know? Nothing about this character excites me, really. So I'm gonna put it in pretty bad tier. Next up, we have the magic carpet, and this one goes straight to God tier. I know that it's technically not an animal, but it's like it's a sentient carpet. What would you even consider it? I don't know what else it would be. Anyway, this one goes to God tier because unlike Abu, the dumb monkey who almost gets Aladdin killed, this carpet just comes in clutch and absolutely saves them from certain destruction. It's also just animated with a lot of personality. It's really funny. It really is its own character, and I just find that really impressive. So it gets to be in God tier. Yeah, that's right. A freaking carpet has more personality than the majority of characters on this list, but I stand by what I said. The magic carpet is the GOAT. He's the GOAT. All right, next up we have Socks, the cat from Lightyear. Another forgettable movie. The idea of Lightyear is a very interesting one. It's actually a concept that I really did like when I heard about it, but I don't know. This side character just doesn't feel like what I would have expected from it, and I just don't feel like it fits. If that makes any sense. I don't know. I think it's kind of a bad idea. Anyway, I don't know. All right, we have one more human character, and I included Boo because, like The Good Dinosaur, all the characters are non-human with the exception of one little human character in Monsters Incorporated. And so I don't know. I feel like Boo kind of plays the role of a little animal sidekick. I think that she gets to be in the Fantastic tier. Next up, we have Pascal from Tangled, and I like Pascal. He's a good little side character. I think I actually would put him above. I think I like him more than Jiminy Cricket. Actually, I think Doug deserves to move up a little bit too, and maybe Bullseye. I like Pascal. He's fun. I think one of my favorite shots in the movie is when he just shoots his tongue into Eugene's ear. All right, next up we have the pants from Onward. And okay, I know that I'm really stretching the definition of animal sidekick here, but like this basically fulfills the role of an animal sidekick. There's a lot of funny things that they do with it. It's funny to see them put a coat with glasses over these pants. I don't know. I think it's funny. So I'm just gonna put it in good tier, and we're gonna pretend like it's an animal, okay? All right. This is the Little Mermaid character I was talking about before. Sebastian the Crab is a fantastic supporting character. He's got some great songs. He's got some great moments. Fun fact about me, I was actually in my middle school's production of The Little Mermaid when I was in 8th grade. I didn't play Sebastian, I played the chef, and I got to chase Sebastian around with a cleaver. So that was a pretty fun time. And so I don't know, that scene with Sebastian the chef kind of holds a special place in my heart, even though it's a completely pointless scene. I think I'd put him at the top of Fantastic tier. I think he's a really good one. We have the star from Wish, and I'm not gonna lie. He's cute, but I don't think the star's great. I think that the original concept they had of having the star be an actual like human type character, you know, rather than just a rip-off version of Luma from Super Mario Galaxy. Yeah, I think that original version was a lot better. I don't know. I find this one kind of uninspired. I like the little like glittery effects that they have coming off of him. But yeah, I don't know. He's kind of uninspired. I don't know. I don't love him. So I'm just gonna put him in pretty bad tier. There's actually 2 animal sidekicks of sorts in Wish, and I'm sad to say, but the star is actually the better of the 2. I think Valentino is kind of useless. He's not a great character. He doesn't really add much. I have nothing else to say about him. He gets to be in useless tier. I don't know. I don't love the character. And last but certainly not least, we have Maximus the Horse from Tangled, aka the greatest sidekick character in all of Disney history. He gets to go straight to the top of God tier. But not only that, you might notice that we have one more image of Maximus, because not only is Maximus a God tier level character, he is also a menace to society. He is both. He manages to encapsulate everything that a Disney sidekick character should be. He's a funny character, he's got a bunch of comedic moments, he is helpful to the main characters, but he's also a complete menace, and that sword fighting scene of him fighting Eugene with a sword and a frying pan is peak cinema.
You should know that this is the strangest thing I've ever done!
He is God tier, and he's a menace, and we love him for it. Anyway, that is my complete tier list of the animated Disney sidekick characters. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what other tier lists you would like to see me do in the future. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.